guys, Katy Huller here with Kids Can Read and Write. Today I want to play Can You Spot the Tricks? All right, let's see how many tricks you can find. So if you want, pause the video for a minute and just see how many tricks can you find. You can write the words down on your own paper and then see how many tricks you can find. Let's see how many you recognize, because if you're working with kids and trying to teach them how to read or how to write, it's really important that you can spot the tricks and that you're teaching your kids these tricks, because not knowing them makes reading and spelling very tricky, but knowing them helps make it so much easier. So pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm going to go over all the tricks with you. So here we go. Gardening terms. Do you see any tricks in the words gardening terms? Let's start there. So in gardening, if you sound it out, notice that A and the R are not saying ah and ra. They're saying g, r, gar, right? A and the R say R. They're the pirates, okay? So that's one trick. How many found that? All right, and then there's another trick in gardening. Do you know what it is? It's the ing trick, and it says ing. So when we read this, remember you can break up big words by finding the vowel, going one past, and breaking it. Now this is the crude way to do it. It works most of the time. Find your vowel, go one past, break it. Sometimes you have to shift a letter or two over, but most of the time this works. And I love this method because it's easy for kids who have memory issues to remember. And mostly I am working with kids who struggle with memory and or processing issues. And so the simpler we can keep it, the easier it is for them to learn to read and write. So don't make it too hard. So we have gar, gar, den, ing, gardening. So two tricks there. Did you find any tricks in this word? Terms. Now notice when you sound it out, terms. Terms. See that E and the R? That says So you want to teach your kids not to go but for ER. ER, IR, and UR all say All right, that's it for that one. How about in our first word? Mulch. Mulch. Did you see any tricks there? C and the H, they say cha, 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 cha. Now remember, if this is totally new to you, if you need help teaching your kids how to read and how to know all these tricks, look up our Black Belt reading program. You can find that at kidscanonlineacademy.com or at kidscanreadandwrite.com. I'll put it in the description. All right, what about in this word? We have eed. Notice the two E's. When we have two vowels together, the first one says its name, second goes to sleep. Eed. Seeds. Now, this doesn't apply to all two vowels that go together, but there are a whole bunch that it does. And in the Black Belt reading program, we teach the other vowel combinations separately so that you know which ones follow this rule and which ones don't. All right, how you doing so far? Are you finding all the tricks? How about in full hours? Full hours, full hours. Do you hear any letters working together to make new sounds? Because that's what a trick is. All right, we've got the O-W, that's the O who pinches you and pinches W, ow! And we have that E-R trick again. So we have full hours, flowers. All right, what about in this word? Do you see any tricks? I do. We have the trampoline jumpers. oi, 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 oi. Now O and I say oi, okay? And remember, just telling your kids once isn't usually enough, unless you have really smart kids who remember everything and never need to be told anything twice. If you're having kids who are struggling with memory issues or processing issues, make sure you keep telling them. Make sure you get something with a lot of practice, like the Black Belt Reading Program, where they get packets that just focus on what you've taught them and not a whole bunch of extra stuff. That way they can really get it down, and every time they see it, they'll remember, oh yeah, oi, 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 soil, soil. All right, how about this word? Any tricks in there? Sound it out, see if anything's making an unusual sound. Because a trick is any letter or letter combinations that are working together in the word to make a sound differently than we normally teach the sounds make with the 26 standard letters and sounds of the alphabet. So when you read this, if these made regular sounds, you'd read it w-at-e-r, water, right? That's not how we read this word. We have the W-A trick here. Wah, 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 wah. Open up your mouth. Wah. Okay, wah. And then we have the E-R trick, So it's what, Now when you know these tricks, it's very easy to sound out words. If you don't know the tricks, you get at-er, at-er. That doesn't sound right. You might come out with rat or something weird. So make sure, again, that your kids are learning the tricks. And if they're struggling, they need extra help, look up the Black Belt Reading Program. All right, here we go. We've got da, 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 daddy's face first, so that's a da. We have the other I and the R. Remember, E-R, I-R, and U-R all say So we go dirt, dirt. Okay, how about in this word? Do you see any tricks? Are you getting better at spotting them? Try to sound it out with regular sounds and see how it goes. Usually that'll help you find tricks. I see the pirates right here, and they're always back to back with a sword out, fighting the people coming at them this way. And sometimes you'll see the A with his sword out, and sometimes he's wearing his eye patch like here. So we have est. Now, if we can't hear the word by just going through it, we're gonna break it. One after the vowel. Har. Now, just worry about that. Har. Now do this side. Vest. Vest. Harvest. Harvest. That's how easy it is to teach your kids 2 or more syllable words. Break them up, read one chunk at a time, stick them together. All right, how about this word? Do you see a trick? Now remember over here where we said O pinches W and it says ow? Well, here it's not saying ow, is it? That's because it's a different trick. OW endings are different from OWs in the middle of words, root words, and syllables. If you see OW at the end, because the teacher usually walks at the end of the line and is looking over here, he goes, oh, I better not pinch here, I might get in trouble. So then it changes to O, grow. Notice I'm not saying gur for GR. That's because we don't have ER, IR, or UR there. So we just want grow. All right, guys, one more word. How many tricks have you found so far? Put in the comments how many you found on your own. Let's see down here. We've got a big word, so I'm going to go ahead and break this up. Find your first vowel, go one past, break it. All right? So we have sun, sun. Notice U says not ooh. Sun. Now we have the IGH trick. When I finds GH hiding in the middle of a word, he shouts out, I see you. So when you read this part, you want O or L, light. So when we put sun with light, we get sunlight. That's how easy it is. All right, guys, see how many tricks you found. If you count gardening terms in your search, you should have found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tricks. That's how it goes. There are so many tricks in the words your kids are wanting to read. Even if they're pretty small, don't think that means they're easy unless you've taught your kids the tricks. So make sure you're going over these things. Same thing with spelling. If they're trying to spell and they hear, harvest, and they want to write that, if they don't know the AR, guess what they're going to put here? R. Harvest, right? They may even put harvest if they're not hearing it right. Fix the hearing to fix the spelling. Make sure your kids know how to properly say the words so they can hear the sounds and spell them correctly. All right, that's it for today. We'll play again another day. Hope you did well, and I hope you learned a lot about tricks. I also hope this blesses you. If it does, leave a comment, share it, do all that good stuff. Thumbs up, and let me know what else you need help with. Thanks again for joining me.